Hello everyone! It's been almost 3 weeks since my last video due to tragedy going on in real life, so I took a little break and now I'm back making more videos. In this video I want to talk about a game that turned 30 years old. Well, in a few days, but I'm putting the video up early. It's The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Yay, I'm finally going to do another Zelda game review. Well, not only a review, but an anniversary video too. I feel like this is one of the more requested ones. Think about it. I've done the Super Nintendo video back in August, and in the video I mentioned Zelda: Link to the Past. Then I did 2 Zelda videos this year, which I had to make the follow-ups that led to this one. Anyways, let's talk about the game itself. The story is actually a prequel to the original 2 Zelda games on NES. In the beginning, Ganon being imprisoned in the sacred realm in his dark beast form out of desperation. Having successfully gathered all the pieces of the Triforce, Ganon's evil desires have transformed the realm into the Dark World. Link is awakened by a message from Princess Zelda, who says she had been locked in a dungeon by a mysterious wizard. With that, Link has to save Hyrule, scattered across the Dark World, and defeat Ganon. Still a great story for a Zelda game. There's not much else to say other than it's great for a fantasy adventure game. So now let's move on to the gameplay. I will say, this is great in terms of graphics and style of gameplay. It's the same as the first Zelda game with the top-down view, not the side-scroller view like Zelda 2. But hey, I fully admire the top-down view in this game. And the gameplay is still great, as always. The music, fantastic. Super Nintendo games have always making fantastic music, even in 16-bit sound-like quality. It's still a fantastic piece, especially the Zelda intro. The puzzle solving and traveling between worlds just feels right. Its simplicity, yet still satisfied. The final battle in the game is fantastic too, with a satisfying ending. And strangely enough, this has to be my favorite Zelda game, even more than these main 3 right here. Legend of Zelda games, when you get down to it, are always awesome in their own way. A Link to the Past, while amazing, always stand out to the other Zelda games. It was the open world that struck a perfect balance between giving players enough open space to get a little lost without ever feeling they were aimlessly wandering. The Zelda games have changed, mainly the console main series. A Link to the Past took everything from the original Zelda game on NES and cranks it up perfectly. Plus, gamers like IGN and other gaming websites have praised and say they love it. The game was a genuine design marvel. And for me, that's why it has to be my favorite Zelda game. I'm so glad I played the whole game on the Super Nintendo Classic Edition and beat the game 4 years ago. And yes, I beat the game before Breath of the Wild in that same year. Thankfully, I was glad to do a review, but I'm not done. I wanted to mention that it turned 30 years old. While it came out in Japan first in late 1991, I had to put it as North America release date, so don't be confused for that. I already discussed about the critical success, which it's almost a perfect score. As for the sales, it sold 4.6 million copies. Yeah, not as high as Super Mario World or Donkey Kong Country sales. Heck, looking at the Legend of Zelda series sales, it's not the lowest. Still, I want to see people play more of this game since this has a big fan base. But no worries, you can still play the game from the Nintendo Switch online service, or any games are available, including the Game Boy Advance version. Also, A Link Between Worlds on the 3DS is a spiritual successor because you can see the game was inspired by A Link to the Past. I will definitely be talking about that game in a future video. So yeah, I wanted to do the video early for its 30th anniversary release date. All in all, it's still my favorite Zelda game and is one of my top 10 favorite games easily. So yeah, a second Zelda game review of mine off the list, but I have more Zelda games to review. That is all for the video, and I got another anniversary video. This time it won't be up next week. It will be up in a few days. I'll see you guys for the next one.